Oh, hi! This week's show was made from brilliant suggestions from our audience, such as bacon as the new currency, acrobat cockroach eats all our food, President Trump's ego finally becomes too big and he presses the red button, naughty hedgehogs demonically possessed, is all perfect in the apple crumble, bookcase, microwave oven, sponge. Can Sonic help us here? Thanks so much to our independent correspondents, Susie, Gabby, Soleil, David, Eden, and everyone else. Now, if you don't mind, I'm just going to go back to studying and try and prevent the next apocalypse, which will very likely occur next Sunday at 7 p.m-ish. Enjoy the show.
Yes, hello and welcome to Sprout News at 7 o'clock-ish. And I'm afraid it is a dark time for us all. You may not have heard this before. This may be the first news station to be breaking this news, but we have heard from our independent correspondents that naughty hedgehogs have been demonically possessed and they are bringing about the end of days. Yes, the world is due to end in the next 38 hours. It seems that the hedgehogs have started a chain of events, set in motion a cataclysm beyond our imagining. So we've got reporters around the world and experts in the studio to discuss this and tell you why the world is ending as we speak. And the first person we're going to go to is out there in the field, risking his safety so he can bring you the news, and that is Pete. So Pete, come in, please.
Yes, James, I'm here, up very close to some hedgehogs. Now, these look like massive hedgehogs, but they're not actually very massive hedgehogs. I'm just very close to them. And these ones, as far as we can tell, are not possessed, which is why I'm able to get this close without being bitten or possessed myself. But these are exactly the sort of hedgehogs that have been causing mayhem all over the world today.
So what is it that gets the hedgehogs to turn from these lovely, cute animals into demonic, terrorizing creatures?
Well, this is something we as yet do not know. We know only for a fact that hedgehogs are going from being cute little spiny creatures that we see scattering around at night, if we're very lucky, to being full-on demons. There are reports of them attacking people. They charge down high streets. They've jumped at people's throats. They sometimes they roll themselves into a ball and try and hit someone in the face because it's just all spikes straight in your face. A horrible way to go.
Wow. Yeah. Have you witnessed this yourself, Pete?
Well, I've seen people running in terror with a few little spines sticking out of their face. And the people I spoke to said that they couldn't believe this was happening to them. And it's like, if you can see in their little eyes, what you see is this sort of demonic glare, quite unlike the cute little eyes they normally have.
I see. Well, thank you, Pete. We're going to come back to you later for an update on this breaking story as it unfolds. So stay safe, Pete.
I will be trying to get in touch with some actual demonic hedgehogs and seeing if I can speak to some experts. Thank you,
Excellent.
James.
I'm looking forward to seeing that demonic look in the hedgehog's eyes.
You'll see.
Yes. Thank you, Pete. Well, as I said, we also have experts in the studio, and we have Dr. Prickle, who's flown in all the way from Canada to talk to us today. And I'm just going to go and see her in the undecorated part of the studio. So, Dr. Prickle, thank you for flying over at such short notice to talk about this topic. I can see that you take this as seriously as we are taking it.
Absolutely. It's you know, it's something that has catastrophic potential, and we have been very busy trying to find the cause of this transformation we're finding in hedgehogs. Not all hedgehogs seem to be affected as well. One of the possible causes we're finding is a virus they're catching from acrobat cockroaches who've been eating all of their food. So the hedgehogs have been eating them because there's no food left, and that seems to be one of the causes. So the hedgehogs who have been eating the acrobat cockroaches end up turning demonic. But you know, we're still looking into other possibilities, but it's bad.
So we've heard that the hedgehogs attack bodily, they attack wheels on cars, they attack faces and humans. Are they attacking the infrastructure that holds our society together?
Well, they're aiming at humans and human flesh specifically. I think there might be a correlation between the fact that we look quite a lot like bacon to them. So they see bacon as the kind of their currency and you know, power and money and whatever. So that's why they're attacking us. And the main worry is what people they seem to be going for. And it seems that they are attacking people in let's say people with not particularly high IQs, which is worrying at the moment, especially since most of the current world leaders fall into that categories. So so we are worried, as in there have been sighting of demonic hedgehogs around the White House, and we're worrying what they might do if the US president were to be attacked.
Is there a danger of that big red button on the president's desk?
Yes, we're not sure that this demonic virus that we're calling it can't be passed on to humans as well. So, you know, what if they were to infect one of the world leaders, and, you know, obviously they have access to the threatening big red buttons.
I see. So we're facing a whole raft of dangers to our society and to our planet.
Indeed.
Okay, well, Dr. Prickle will be back with you later for more comment on this, these staggering events. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And we'll be back
alert.
with you soon. Yes, always. So we have our top reporter working on this story. We never skimp on these big stories. So let's go over to our top reporter, John. John, can you hear me?
Yes, James, I can hear you. Can you hear me, James?
Yes, John.
And yes, it's true. The hedgehogs have actually started to become demonic, and they're going absolutely crazy out there. And our expert, our hedgehog expert, Dave Hinsby, is telling us we must not forget that these hedgehogs, the demonic, are actually naughty demonic hedgehogs. So they're doing naughty things like going into the sheds and bursting kids' footballs. So the kids are coming out crying, it's ruining the kids' spirit. They're getting into our shoes. So when we go to work in the morning, we're putting our feet in and screaming because they're in our shoes. And worst of all, they're getting into our pants. So as we pull them up, we scream because they're destroying everything you can think that's down there. Now, one thing that's happening, one thing we're seeing where this is really evolving is that their eyes are starting to turn red. Their heads are turning round and they're starting to recite the Bible backwards. What can this mean? I don't know, James. Maybe we'll find out later. Back to the studio.
Thank you, John. Yes, startling revelations there about what is potentially happening. The footballs being burst is particularly distressing, and the Bible being read backwards is pretty standard for an apocalypse. We've reported apocalypses before, and it's par for the course, as we know. So before we continue with this breaking story, we're going to go to a commercial break because it's important to keep the lights on, even in difficult times. So enjoy these messages from our sponsor.
This is Vicky. She's got a problem. She's stuck on a mountain and she's got nothing to eat. Well, now there's a solution. A microwave oven for all your heating food needs. Now just find somewhere to plug it in. Keep on eating, Vicky.
Yes, do go out and buy a microwave as soon as you can. It's great for food, and it might also be a useful thing to treat hedgehog problems. Perhaps you can bonga. Sorry, I'm just hearing there is breaking news coming in. It's going to come in from one of our independent correspondents any moment. While we wait for that, let's go back to our expert, Dr. Prickle. So, Dr. Prickle, I've heard that I wanted to ask the world's most famous hedgehog, Sonic. Can he help out here, or has he been turned as well?
Not yet. We've been trying to contact him. He's our last hope. He could be the bridge that we're waiting for between our kind and the demonic hedgehog kind, but we're yet to make contact.
Fingers crossed. We'll try and make contact with him on this show, but the breaking news has come through that the millennials are rioting due to a pumpkin spice latte shortage. Now, I really understand where they're coming from. Do you have any comments on this, Dr. Prickle?
Yeah, let's get to the streets and riot. This is unacceptable.
Totally unacceptable. Let's go to our top reporter, John, to comment on this breaking news story about millennials rioting due to a pumpkin spice latte shortage. Over to you, John.
Yes, James, this is just when we thought we'd heard everything today with the demonic hedgehogs. Yes, there is no more pumpkin spice anywhere to be found. People have looked for the pumpkin spice, but they can't find it. If you can find pumpkin spice, please send it into our cities, because the millennials are going mad. There's tears in Starbucks right now. People are crying over the baristas, or whatever, the baristas in Costa. It's terrible. People are refusing to go to work. Back to you, James.
Thank you, John. Yes, shocking times, shocking scenes in Starbucks. If you thought the hedgehog apocalypse was bad, then I wouldn't go into a Starbucks. Now, we've got our roving reporter, Dave, out on the streets, gathering the voice of the people. So let's see where Dave is now. Over to you, Dave.
Hey, James. I'm checking out the bookcase. Now, Eden asked me to check out the bookcase, and it's quite a handy thing. As you can see, we've got like books, but we've also got like other stuff, like this, and like this. I wanted to talk to people and ask them, what sort of things do you have on your bookcase? And I've got a whole queue of people here waiting to tell me.
All right, mate. I keep the heads of my ex-girlfriends on my bookcase.
Oh, what? That's
The dismembered heads.
Have you got a picture?
This isn't going out, is it?
It's live. Is there anyone else who'd like to tell me about their bookcase?
I keep books.
Do you keep them on a bookcase?
No, on the floor.
Oh, mainly want people to talk about bookcase.
Oh, I have a bookcase.
Oh, do you keep books in it?
No.
Oh, is there one more person, sir? Can't sir? So you need to speak up.
Sorry, I keep my body hair on my bookcase. I regularly shave myself, and I put my body hair, line it.
That is fantastic. James, I think it could be the next trend. Back to the studio. Let's have body hair on bookcases.
Thank you, Dave. Yes, I have been looking for somewhere to store my body hair, and now that is a great tip. Thank you. So we're going to go back to Pete for our top story, which is that the naughty demonic hedgehogs are bringing about the end of days. So over to you, Pete.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, James. I'm here with Professor Humphrey Bumfrey, who actually for the last 5 years has been warning the scientific community about the impending demonic hedgehog apocalypse. Humphrey Bumfrey, Professor, it's very good to speak to you. How did you know this was going to happen?
Oh, I've been seeing the signs for years, you know. I've made my life's ambition to research the hedgehog and phenomena around the hedgehog. And I've even found there's been interbreeding going on, like hedge pigs, hedge horses, all sorts of things going on. And finally, I have been proved right. They thought I was mad, and I'm not mad.
No, that's very true. The scientific community variously came out and said that you were mad, crazy, insane, not to be trusted, a complete lunatic. These are quotes from scientists, but you're the one who's laughing now, despite the end of the world.
Exactly, yes, although I don't wish to make it known that I'm laughing at the end of the world, although who's laughing now?
Yeah, well, you were before we went on air. You said that you think you have something that can perhaps turn the tide back and stop this. It's something you're working on. Is that true?
Yes. I've been working on many things, including sort of remedies and potions to try and dissuade them. I've been trying to look on the holy side of things. I've got a cat to try and hunt them, but they're not as good as you might think because they're spiky. But I've got many things up my sleeve, if you will. Yes.
But you're saying you have things up your sleeve to try and dissuade them. I'm not feeling confident that you have something that's going to save the day here.
Well, there is something I've been working on, which I was hoping to keep to a surprise for the masses, but I suppose I could release it a little bit early.
That would be great. A scoop would be awesome.
Oh, certainly. In that case, then, the thing I have been working on is I've been trying to breed my own small dragon to hunt the hedgehogs, you see.
That is amazing. Do you think you'll be able to breed it in time to save the world?
Well, I'm hoping so. I've been working around the clock, or near enough to. You've got to sleep, of course, and go to the toilet, I mean, obviously. But I've been working as much as I can, all things considered, and I'm hoping to get the dragon out soon.
Well, there's something there to give us hope. And hope is the one thing that we are looking for at the moment. If one quick question, very quickly, if someone is to be cornered by a demonic hedgehog, what would your advice be to that person?
So if you're cornered and the demonic hedgehog is directly at you, I would advise jumping over it as fast as you can, otherwise it might bite you. Run around in several circles. Try saying the Bible in forwards rather than in backwards, because you see a standard apocalypse and you try and invert it. Or failing that, kneel down before them and pray to them. I've found that can occasionally help dissuade them from eating you.
Well, that's absolutely fascinating. If you can remember all that, I would say keep that in mind. You might need it very soon.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Pete and Professor Humphrey Bumfrey. That's great advice there, and make sure you remember all of those things. And let's hope that the dragons will be available in the next 37.5 hours to save the world. Now, before we crack on more with this terrifying story, let's go to a movie review with Vicky. Over to you, Vicky.
Yes, thank you, James, and welcome to this week's film review. This week, we are welcoming back one of our favorite directors. He is here to talk to us about his new movie called Is All Perfect in the Apple Crumble? A riveting title, and I'm sure that he will tell us more riveting things about it. Please welcome Big G with us tonight. Hello.
Hello. Thanks for having me back.
It's great to have you back. How have you been?
How have I been?
Yes, that's why I asked you.
Well, I haven't had the best time, but I'd rather not talk about it.
That's great. Thank you. Well, can you
I've
talk?
been lonely. I've been terribly lonely, but I'd rather not speak about it.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about that. Are you sure you don't want to address this with?
No, I don't want to address it. I prefer not to address it, thanks.
Okay, of course. Well, if you need to talk, we're here.
Yeah, you say that, but you're not there when I call. Anyway.
Well, maybe call between normal hours. Like
I was lonely at 3 a.m. I'd had some whiskey. Anyway.
So, do you have a movie to tell us about today?
I do have a movie to tell you about. It's all perfect in the apple crumble.
Oh, is it gonna be as poorly as the previous one?
I wouldn't look at it with that framing. I would look at it as a new piece and imagine you're looking into the whole of a big fat fish.
Right, but let's face it, your previous film did horribly in the box office. What do you expect with this feature?
Well, define horribly.
I'm saying that you were bankrupt, if I can remember. First of all, I want to ask you where you found the investors for this new one.
Well, number one, I went bankrupt by choice. And number two, I found the investors from a little-known company that you may not have heard of called British Gas.
That's great, because actually I wanted to ask you about the fact that it was sponsored by British Gas and also happening in one of those areas that are highly explosive at the moment, and that there's been a few accidents during the shooting of this feature, if I recall.
Let's just say there were enough accidents to make God blush. 3 people died, 4 people lost limbs, 2 people had a nervous breakdown.
Wow, so that must have...
Well, that's in the movie industry, collateral damage.
Yes, I'm sure the insurance will cover, though, because you obviously got a great insurance from your previous records.
Yes.
Well, that's great to know. Will you tell us about the topic of this film?
Yes, it's all perfect in the apple crumble. It's kind of a prequel to the Dark Knight trilogy. And the villain of the piece is the Riddler. And what he does, he sends riddles about his next crimes to the Dark Knight, otherwise known as Batman. And he will often say, oh, it's all perfect in the apple crumble, wink, wink. And of course, that means that somebody is going to die in their apple crumble. And of course, the Batman's not on the job. It's Christmas time. He's busy having fun with his friends, the Justice League, and he's caught with his pants down, if you will.
Wow, that's very original. It really sounds like your original work.
Well, I was lucky in that I was given carte blanche to write, produce, direct, and star in the film. So yeah, I think the freedom that one gets from going into partnership with British Gas can often be overwhelming, but I feel I handled it very well.
But what about partnership with DC Comics for using one of their title characters?
Well, we got round that by spelling his name differently.
Oh, right, I see. So all tricks and games.
Yes. You just call him Batman, but spell it Craig, Craig, and it's fine on the poster.
Well, that's very crafty. Well, it sounds amazing, and I have to say, I've seen the movie, and it was very interesting indeed. And I can't wait to go and see it again, maybe.
Oh, you are going to see it twice?
Well, I have to.
Right. I'll call you at 3 a.m.
Please don't. Well, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much, Big G, for being with us today, and hopefully just during the day for the rest of this interview. Thank you so much. We can't wait to have you back for your next film.
Good. I'll call you at 3 a.m.
Yes, with pleasure. Well, thank you. James. Oh, wait, sorry. I forgot to recommend to go see this movie, everybody, because I have to. And if Big G doesn't get sued for copyright infringement, at the least, well, it's coming out next week. So thank you very much, Big G, and see you around.
Call you at 3.
Yes, thank you, Vicky, and our special guest, Big G. I mean, who hasn't chosen to go bankrupt? We've all been there. And do go out and see It's All Perfect in the Apple Crumble as soon as you can. There's no pressure, but there's just not much time left. And with more on the limited time we have, we're going to go back to Pete with an update. So Pete, come in, please.
Yes, hi James. This is going to be a very quick bulletin. Just to let you know, I have caught up with a demonic hedgehog. They're right here. I'm being very calm, and I'm just trying to remember everything that Humphrey Bumfrey told me to do. It was quite a long thing. It was like jumping over them, running around 3 times, shouting a lot of stuff, and praying. I'm hoping I can do that in all the right order, and if I do, I'll give you a report later. Otherwise, tell the canteen staff I love them.
Okay, yes, I'll tell Doris that you love her. But hopefully we'll see you again one day, Pete. Well, I was hoping for a more positive update from Pete there, that maybe he found some way to turn around the apocalypse, but it does seem that we're all doomed. So that concludes the Sprout News. Let's go over to Alistair for a thought for the day.
Hello there. I was in a bath the other day and I had a sponge. And I was thinking, aren't people a lot like sponges? They absorb everything around them and they have a lot of holes that let water in. And if you leave them in the bathroom too long without checking on them, they go moldy. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Alistair. Yes, nobody wants to be a moldy sponge. So as I said, that's it from Sprout News today. We didn't have time to talk about people aging backwards. We didn't have time to talk about the painted rock. We didn't have time to talk about radiators becoming free on the National Health. And there was lots of things we didn't have time to talk about. But hopefully, if the world just scrapes through, we'll be back in the future with another Sprout News report. So for now, thank you for joining us and goodbye. News. That was our show. Please give a big round of applause for the people that you have seen presenting the news to you today. You have seen Pete. You have seen Carlotta. You have seen John. You have seen Vicky. You have seen and heard Alistair. You have seen Dave. You've seen Gregory. And you've seen our very special guest, Big G Gareth. So a big thank you to all of you for all your amazing suggestions. They were fantastic. Sorry we didn't get to use every single one, but I hope you heard when we did speak your ones. And if you'd like to join us for a sway and a farewell, you're very welcome to. Please give yourselves a round of applause. And if you enjoyed the show, please tell your friends and invite them to come along. And we'll be back next Sunday, I believe. Are we back next Sunday? We're back next Sunday. So see you then. Take care.